Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 407th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, November 18th, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today for Mr. Mayran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who once again will be presenting today's workshop. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you ready to begin there?
Yes. Good morning, good day to you. As usual, whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers programs of the Keshe Foundation worldwide, we welcome you back to another cycle of knowledge, sharing knowledge and becoming knowledge seekers, irrespective of our culture, religion, faith, and every other things that we might be separated ourselves to be separate from the others. The beauty of it is that when we go to space, we all become man of earth. They do not know China or England or America or Iran. We go out together in understanding and more or less cultivating a new ways of what we call knowledge. The beauty of it is we have to learn as a human race that we are as strange to them as they're strange to us. We have our own ways of doing things, we have our own ways of getting to places, and they have their own. Does not mean that they're more advanced, does not mean they are behind us. It means we are all part of the evolution of the knowledge of the creation. This is part of what we all are in different stages of that knowledge. Some who are being created long before us through taking a different path have passed us to understand the knowledge of the creation. Some who've been ahead of us are still behind us because they have not managed to unravel the realities of the creation. And there are different races of the creator in different dimensions and understanding and knowledge and enlightenment. So we have to learn, one of the first things is how do we come to be and what we have to do in the openness of the universe to respect life in the essence of the creation, in the essence of understanding the totality. There is always a way that we think we do not know, and there is always a way that we think we know. But we think because we have that knowledge, we are inferior or superior to the others around us. This has to be understood by all of us, that once we are entering the universal community with the open eyes of knowing that we are in a new society of the universe, we are no different. We are all in the same package of the process of the creation. And for us, how we communicate, how we go to understand, how we interact will come out of understanding of the totality. Many creations and created things of the creator have not even understood the existence of their souls, have not understood what it means to be part of what the teachings you have had. And at the same time, they've been taught that to be elevated to that position. Does it make you any different? Does it make you to be more enlightened and more arrogant? Or does it make you to be enlightened and be humble? In so many ways, we have to become to understand whatever we are, wherever we appear, whatever we are part of, you're always part of the creation. And we have always to be humble, to be there to learn, and not to be arrogant, to be ahead, to be we know. In the process of the creation, mankind has moved a lot. In the process of creation, mankind has changed a lot. In the process of creation, all creatures of the universe have changed a lot. One of the knowledge seekers, in a different way, sent me a video this week, which is to do with Solomon. And this brought back a lot of memories. This brought back a lot of things that many of you knowledge seekers gradually will come to. And then you understand when we say the knowledge of the man has come to the level of the prophet of the past. That now that you know the existence of your soul, now that you understand the existence of totality, you understand, we understood how Christ brought life back. But when you go back to beyond it, to time of Solomon, he used to talk to birds. He used to understand the animals. He used to understand every creature. And now he can see how much man has degraded from time of Solomon to Christ. It's the knowledge we had, it's the knowledge we were created with. He used his soul to communicate with the birds and the bees, to the animals, to understand them. And as he was what we call messengers of the Creator, in a way he understood the levels of creation. He went out not to harm and not to possess, even though people gathered around him as armies of his. He never called for an army. He had an army of peace with him. But he understood through the soul. And in a way, our teaching is taking us back now further to understand the work of Solomon. How he could communicate with the birds, how he communicated with every entity. And up to now, we always talked about it. In a way, is the knowledge is within us, the knowledge which has always been available to us, but became more and more physical to the level of Christ. That for us was important to see a physical body moving, where thousands of years before him, Solomon could speak to the birds, could understand them through the soul. He never verbally communicated, but through the interaction of his soul, he could understand. He was already a man of universe. He was already the soul of the man. And this is what the teachings of nowadays is about. We understood how Christ resurrected. Now, to understanding more, we try to go further back before man was contaminated with the physicality and possession to the time of Solomon, to understand interaction, to understand communication through the soul of the man, not the dimension of physicality of the man. I'm sure if we would have left the mankind to carry on with what it is in the next few thousand years, mankind will not move. We hold on to everything and become more and more physical and possessive. This is part of our understanding. We are not bringing a new teaching. We are taking man to the origin when he diverted to become more physical, to be more owner of physicality, to be detached. It was part of the life of him. And now we see how we have degraded ourselves to lower and lower. We sit to understand more. How could he do what we, after thousands of years, trying to go back and reach? What was the message? That did he communicate? If he could communicate with the birds and the bees and the animals, how did he communicate with his army? How could he, when he could understand the animals and the rest, could be ignorant of the existence and emotions and the life of his soldiers, the people who came to God, to be with him, to be part of his, what we call knowledge seekers of today, to understand more about the creation. What happened to all that knowledge? How much did Solomon pass on to make what I call creatures of the universe out of the man? And they could not understand it at the time. So, in a way, now that you become too close to understand the work of your soul in communication and interaction, Then you come to understand you have moved up backwards in the race of man to the time of Solomon, to interaction, to understanding, to comprehending the emotion of another with not talking, but by the interaction of the souls. So we are not teaching you something new. And as all of you have been entangled with these teachings for past months and years with us, now you understand, in a way, we're taking man back through his own history, timeline reversed. It's not back to the future, it's to understand the time of the past, that it has become the future. The universe hasn't stopped as man has become more physical. The work of the Creator hasn't stopped as the man has taken the greed to possess and own more. And as we see nowadays with our leaders, they want to possess everything. And then you see those who are behind our leaders who want to be the possessor and controlling even the leaders. Why? What is the reason? Why do we see this evolution now in the process of the creation? What do the Rothschilds bend backwards in trying to control humanity? By finance, by every means, but they have not understood that the work of the Creator goes beyond them. The knowledge they might gain somewhere or got somewhere to show they can, they will not be able to, because the path of it is the wrong way. They chose what the gift was given to them to be used in the wrong way. The greed of the physicality took over the knowledge of physicality of the man's achievement. This is the part of the job that many of you will start questioning yourselves. In the time to come and in the time which is here, many of you have faced or facing with a position of, shall I take or shall I not take? And what would it do to me and what I have to do? In a way, when you accept these new, what I call cycle of control, you are faced with one thing. You ever been on a death row by injection? That's the position of man. In a way, the new cycle is putting you on the table with yourself. Do I accept the injection and take the consequences of death, sitting on what I call a death row? This is what you have to understand, how fast you can move from the dimension of physicality and dimension of the soul, that no physical injection can harm the man. How fast you can see and read the understanding of the thoughts of the others, that you can be safe in respect to your own life. Many knowledge seekers asked me in the past few months, what shall we do? In a way, I cannot tell you what to do as you're sitting on a death row. This is the total reality of it. It all depends when the saturation gets to the point, when your body cannot respond. And then, in that point, like many of you who've been through the motion and emotion of the cancer, you judge your life. What have I achieved? What have I done? What is my, what I call legacy? Nowadays, and what we see is about to come, enforcing these, what I call body structure changes, will make you think. But we have to understand what is behind it. This is why we said we took the love of God from Rothschild. Every one of them will die in the most painful way the man can do. They'll become a name in the history in a very short time, as they took the wrong path. as they went the wrong way. Was not supposed to be the knowledge, and whatever was given was supposed to be for the benefit of mankind. Don't forget, when we took the love of God from the tribe of Moses, because of what they did to Christ, they became nomads. They lost their home, and they spread around the world, and everywhere they became the curse of humanity. Maybe now you understand what it's about, what is to come. In a way, with this position at the time, in the time of man, we make you think. We make you to understand, do I want to be, and what will be of me? Do I want to move in the dimension of the soul, or do I stay in the dimension of physicality? How many of you will elevate to that position the coming time? How many of you will come to understand the strength of your soul you'll come to see? We create with the love of man. We create with the creation of the love of man. And in so many ways, the love of man has become part of its own demise for loving so much with tangibility and physicality of the man. Maybe today I open a door for you to see what is to come. Not for humanity, but for yourself. How you assess the life to be. How you assess, I want to be. I take the job, but would I sit and wait? Nothing happens, or it'll be my demise. As I said to one of the politicians and diplomats very recently, we are all on the execution table of injection, the way it used to be done on the death row in America. With the difference that the leaders have exempt themselves from to be part of it. All the rules and regulations you see done for you to safeguard you is not applicable to the world leaders. We have come to understand in past few days that the governors and the governments and the leaders are exempt from injection. Why? This is part of the structure of life. And if it is so, how could they survive without it, where the others have to have it? This brings you to understanding in a deeper way that we will face the same dilemma in the depth of a space. We will have this on our table in a coming time. We will have to make these decisions in the depth of space. Shall I go out? And the packages of the energies are above my strength of my soul, or the strength of my physicality, or the strength of my soul of physicality. How would I handle it? How do I deal with it? Am I taking that a step? In understanding this, it makes you conscious to understand your soul. The way I look at it is that the position that more or less all of us on this planet are facing today is the time to bring collectively humanity to a new level of understanding. To bring man collectively to decide and to assess what is the future of our race. What is and how we're going to do. To what extent? What will be the outcome of all this mayhem we see? Or are we going through a cycle that we are embedded with the dimension of the knowledge that they will decide when to switch on and how to switch off? We have one way to think, and that way is for all of us as a human race to start to understand the dimension of the soul, the interaction of the soul, how we achieve that level, and how to interact and trigger the phase of understanding of the motion of the souls of the man. Don't forget, in the teachings of the past, we have talked about this very clearly, where you take the soul of physicality within the soul of the man, and when the danger is over, you can release it back to become part of the new situation and the place. What happens if you're about to fall off a cliff, and then you change your dimension of the soul, and that light then will land on the same cliff? Then what happened? You reverse the time, and would you be any different than the body which was free falling off the cliff? In a way, when you jumped, you had brown eyes and black hair. And when you come back, would you still be the same, or would it be the wishes that you wanted always to have blue eyes and be blonde? Which one will take over? Which dimension will appear in front of you? Would your loved ones which fall watch you to go down, seeing you going down as a black hair and blue but brown eyes, appear with a blonde hair and blue eyes, but you still speak the memories of what you had? Would they recognize you? Would they accept you? And then it'll come to the point to understand mankind is at the verge of understanding the totality of the creation. Mankind is at the verge to understand about his own creation. And this is part of the teaching. This is part of trying to understand part of it. Go back and listen to the American teaching of last week with Alex. Unknowingly, he has touched very soft, but to something fundamental, which we've been trying to teach you, but you do not hear. Go back and understand what you have missed in past teachings that you have not managed up to now to achieve to interact with your soul. Go back to the teachings of the past 2 years and understand more in what you have missed to understand the totality of the knowledge. Sentimentality does not pay nowadays. You have to be realistic. You have to understand in totality, if I can do, if I can convert, if I can go within my soul to become the dimension, can I teach it to my child? Can I teach it to my lover? Can I teach it to my father and brother? But the brother is the totality of human race. In a way, we are going back. We are teaching you to go back to the time of Solomon. Don't talk, listen and understand. It's not your job to change the others. You're there available if they need to take that change. As I said, execution by lethal injection has been the tradition which we have seen in the United States and even in some of the states today, I believe is still carried out. Have we all become the criminals? Or our crime has been that we have not understood the essence of the creation of our soul, and this is the payback time, where we had to mature and we missed it, where we had to understand that no injection can touch us, where we can convert from the soul of physicality into the soul of the man and appear again. Then whatever rumors is this does this and does that, and it kills this way and that kills that way, that's how the guy dies on the injection table by the execution in a prison. We don't need to analyze it, because even the man there, if he understands and elevates his soul, the injection of the poisons given to him to execute him by enlightening his soul would have no effect on him, because he's enlightened, because he has understood the ways of his misconduct, and he'll walk off that table as a new man. Would this be the response of the humanity after the mayhem we are going through? Would it be the time that man will elevate himself to understand? Would it be that we needed this to create a new cycle of people who understand the totality of the creation? When you're on that bed, everything goes through the head, even the soul of the man. The reality with many of you in the physical dimension is that the life has become more physical and more physical. As you see on the screen, we are developing more and more technologies for you to see that blue light, to see that light of life through the what I call these systems, to enlighten your soul, to bring you a new dimension, to understand the reality about the creation, where the physicality will have no meaning unless you give it the meaning. The touch of love, the touch of loving a child or a partner, the touch of understanding the smell and the beauty of a flower or an animal. The new systems are there to bring that emotion, that understanding, that what I call the end, the light, the way we most of us see ourselves at the position of death. Do we need to die? Do we need to be afraid of what this and that does to us? Or do we go through a new process of creation? I have taught you many systems. Now I talk to enlighten for you to find a system in your own structure of creation, a connection, maybe what we call interface or adapter between the soul of physicality and the soul of the man, that you become not afraid of any packages of energy or anything will enter your body at a time. So many ways. We are mixing too many things without separating too many things. We are creating too many conditions without actually understanding the condition which we have created for ourselves. We're becoming more physical than what we are asking for, literally, is to go back to the time of Solomon. To go back before him and go back to the time of Mitra and Zoroaster. Go back to the time of the Creator and understanding of the totality. The word, I made man in the image of myself, is not only in the dimension of the light, but is in the dimension of enlightenment too. It's us who has to find that in the dimension of physicality and in the dimension of understanding the light. We are not part of something which has no meaning, and we are not there just to be there. We are part of the process. We are the hinges of connecting one part to the other. At the same time, we are one and the other. As we interact, we interconnect, and we become part of the structure. Maybe in the coming time, maybe in understanding the totality with introduction of the new knowledge, new ways, new tools we can show you to become better drivers of your soul. Better interactor between the soul of physicality and the soul of the man. They asked the Creator a question: are you perfect? He said, how can I be perfect when I cannot, when I see I create imperfection in my creatures and created? In so many paths taken to create always the perfection has become even a pain to the Creator. What can you do if you understand, even your Creator understand the limitation of dimensions of existence? Mankind soon will come to understand the answer to the question, are you perfect? And even one is perfect, one created what by him has to be perfect, to be continuous, to be the cycle of the creation in totality. We have never spoken in the voice and the language of the Creator, but soon you all hear that, as you have heard in the past times. It's for you to understand the totality. It's for you to understand the totality of the creation in the dimension of man's soul as itself, it's part of cycle of the regeneration and interaction of the fields of the universe. It's not that our soul will stay just because we died. Our soul has a lifespan, and in that lifespan has to decide where it wants to be part of and what it wants to be part of. Mankind has reached a point of decision making, and in a way, before it was them, now is all. With what we see and what is on and what is to come, how much more humanity will go the path of physicality. We took the love of God from Rothschilds because of their misconduct. We took the love of God from Jews, and out of them became a misconduct of Rothschilds. And for this, we abolish both at the same time. What this means, it means mankind has been put to a test, not to fail, but to more understand the cycle of the generation of the soul and the interaction of the soul of physicality by totality put together in one dimension. The purpose of the cycle and the pains you go through in this part of the life of this planet is to unify the soul of the man as one. As you all at the same time has come to suffer through the hand of the man. When it was an earthquake, he was somewhere there. When it was a hurricane, it was somewhere there. It had nothing to do with me. It was just piece of news. Now the hurricane is hitting all of us. And this hurricane is not who's going to come out of it well and who does not. In fact, is for the man to unite collectively in that hurricane, to hold hand, to become one, to be able to stand till this hurricane is over. Mankind will not do it in the dimension of the physicality, but mankind can do it through the dimension of the interaction and what we call hold on to through the souls. This is what we call upon the knowledge seekers, to understand and to start acting upon it. We ask you to water every Sunday. And many of you watered on a Sunday, lunchtime, and dinner time. Now we give you a new path. Maybe you will understand. Instead of watering the whole, as you all do and you shall do, now try to unite each other's soul. Try to make the soul of the humanity through the knowledge seekers to the level that no one can touch the physicality of the embodiment of the human race, even though they come in different names and shapes and colors and whatever. What I call upon the knowledge seekers is very simple. We are facing a demise, and collective connection and interaction of the soul of the man with other creatures which we love and carry at home or outside of whatever shape or form, be it a plant or whatever. Try to find a time. Try to find a place. Try to be on regular basis to unite in the dimension of the soul. That mankind elevates the soul of the totality, and we can weather this animosity and this, what I call, horrendous time, which is imposed by those who thought have the power of the finance and the power of to do so. Choose a time. Go back to the time where all of you are at the point of what I call collective calmness. And this time, don't spread the water of Ganges, spread your soul. Interact and unite, that in totality we make a new race out of the soul of the man. This is part of the purposes of the Keshe Foundation teaching. Unification of the souls, that in space and beyond we are interacted, we are all one, and we all manifest as one. This is the only way that all of you and many of you will survive this hurricane, which is now blowing across the winds and the planet and beyond. We are suffering with what we see is happening to mankind, but we understand the solidarity and unification of the soul of the man is the key. Then, once you unite, you will not harm each other as you was part of it to be harmed. And then we go back to the point of one planet, one nation, one race, in a way, one soul. This is the only way the human race will weather this situation, what we see at the moment on this planet. And this is the only way that we see the demise of those who finance such a painful cycle for so many. But we have to understand, when a nation works together, the leaders have no power, even though they thought they protected themselves beyond the castles and the walls and everything else. In so many ways, mankind has to come to the point of understanding the test of what is come now is not, in a way, individual, is to unite the human race. This is the opportunity for knowledge seekers to extend the position and the possession of the work of the soul to become one. Choose a time that all of you, the way you do on Sundays, is the time of uniting the soul of the man. And then you understand. Don't go there for a second till the water of the can is finished. Stay there that all the cans can stay full all the time. Never be of those who says, I give. Be there to be taken and allow and give the permit to be taken from you if there is a need. No one shall die from no foreign body entry on what we call the table of execution by injection, as it is tradition in the States and the United States. This way, you enhance. This way, the soul of the mankind will become strong enough to protect the soul of the physicality of those who want to be there. No man, no physicality shall be demised if the knowledge seekers understand the whole purpose of this work. Try to understand. Try to organize yourself to become, to be the soul. And then instead of the same time once a week, extend it to all time, the whole year round. Because many of you soon will travel into the depths of the universe, and you cannot wait till the Sunday 6 o'clock comes as I'm in trouble, and today is Sunday 9 o'clock. I have to wait a week in the depth of the space that the soul of the man might be there to help me. The planet Earth shall shine like a star, where the soul of his citizens will shine to all those who are created within the structure of the soul of physicality. You will see and you will understand soon. There is no time better than when mankind sits and he has no time to do with the religion and time and what we call different path. Be advised, Wednesday, 6 o'clock Central European time, in the evening and the morning, where all the nations around the world will come together in the soul. But it has nothing to do with no religion, and it has nothing to do with a path of thinking. In so many paths, mankind has created to be separate and to be better. At 6 o'clock Wednesday, Central European time is the time when mankind is equal and the same. Unite your souls and you understand. Extend the souls. Do not sit there, I don't feel, because you're not in touch with it. You just make the physicality available for a time of change. You understand that the totality sits within the strength of the soul of the man. As one race, not man as one individual. Let them throw what they like at us, as we are much stronger than it feels like a pin thrown as a giant. The giant is the unification of the soul of the man together, to become one, to unite for the betterment of humanity. And while you are in that position, elevate the soul of the man in totality. Become those individual magrabs which they link to each other to change the totality. We called it the cluster magrab. If you remember to go back that far, put 1 or 2 or 3 that collectively you reduce and you contribute to the what are called the wealth of the house. Now those magrabs is your soul, and with it comes the control of it, which is the soul of physicality. Maybe after a few days, choose a Tuesday to do the same, and then the Monday, and then everything else which goes with it, and then extend it to all time, all the time. When I'm not, somebody else is there. It is not a clockwork. It's understanding that the clock never stops and never works without understanding the totality. We come to this point to be here, not just by accident. But as I said, when you don't do it, we force you. When we force you, you kick. But when you do it, you act it. We didn't create the condition of what is today, but we have the opportunity by the misconduct of the others for you to be understanding the totality, and in a way we make the best out of their mistakes. We've seen this behavior. I come from blood of Moses, through my mother. But I'm ashamed to carry that blood when I see the same thing happens again and again. We saw what Moses did with those who gave him food and water and grow him up. We saw what happened with the state of Israel. By giving land and everything, they became the same as their, what I call, bloodline. And we've seen the same with Rothschild, where the wealth was given, instead of bringing peace and betterment of man, they chose to go the wrong way. And now they receive their term, the end. And this has been the same in the same blood, and that shall end. But with it, we don't suffer to say we've done wrong too, we've been done wrong too, and blah, blah. But we use it as an opportunity to bring mankind to understand, to unify the soul of the man, to create that one nation, one race. And with it, the soul of the man and the soul of the planet to be one. When one race is the same as one planet soul, then this planet will shine beyond the dimension and become the center of the universe and the position of the Creator. Then the whole of the universe shall see for the first time the presence of the Creator. Maybe it's too far for you to understand, but it's like a light and the sun for us as we know what is about to come. Soon you will understand. Is not being there just to abuse. It had to be there to help, to support. One of the turning points for me was when I saw the picture of Rothschild walking with Mao Zedong in a garden in the hills in China. Then I realized even what we see today as an emperor of what we call the power of China still sits in the hand of Rothschilds, and how they have abused everything beyond. And we've taken the love of God from every soul of that bloodline. Soon you shall see. Instead of uniting, they create a condition that they can create wars, they create conflict, and then with it, try to create condition of power. They created war. The Universal Council became more powerful, and they stopped wars. Now is the responsibility of the Universal Council the same, to stand, to bring all this mayhem to an end. Gradually, step by step, we are opening the responsibility of the souls of the members of the Universal Council. And it's within your power to bring the change. You've been given that power when you physically brought your soul, which was chosen to support the changes, was made available. The true members of the Universal Council have within their power to bring an end to this mayhem. But in a way, is the key to uniting the mankind, to bring the soul of the planet, which is the man's life, with the soul of his physicality, which is the planet itself. One race, one planet, one soul. This is the fundamental act for the manifestation of the Creator. Maybe many of you will understand soon why Earth has been chosen. The old Chinese proverb says, suffering makes a man think, thinking makes the man wise, and the wisdom makes the man rich. And the mankind is going through that process. Become wise and become rich to be the house and the home and the base of the Creator, where it manifests itself in both dimensions. This was the promise and shall be kept. We are not prophets. We are enlightened that knows the path of the Creator to his destination. We are those who carry the torch, that the path is full in understanding of the knowledge for the Creator to find, to be, and to find peace across the universe. We are torches of enlightenment, not messages. We are universal as we see the whole path for the Creator to understand for those who have created the position and the position of Him as to be part of the same. Maybe today you understand the purpose of the Keshe Foundation and the name and whatever you have come to, and you will come to, and those of you and those who understand will come to be. We still work in the dimension of physicality, but we have a dimension that today, for the first time, we are unraveled and revealed. Maybe today, many of you will come to understand the purpose of our work. Do not listen to the word, but understand the intellect and the purpose behind it. And then you'll be enlightened. I end the teaching now, because if you understood what was said, you have understood what is to come. And what gift has been given to man to the power of Universal Council. And to understand the responsibility to be correct. And now you understand why those who are misconducted have left the council. And the core of those who are there to serve stays and will grow. It's your responsibility to elevate your soul and not wait for a handout. It's your responsibility to come to understand the work of the creation and the Creator. And then it is your responsibility to understand the whole structure will move from this planet to beyond for the whole of the universe. This is why we said the new generation of life will have the whole soul and the soul of physicality together, that they'll be learned by the rest of the, what I call, created things across the universe. The soul of the Creator and the soul of Mitra in the dimension of physicality will come together, and mankind will move into a new dimension as one nation, one planet, one race. As the nation of the man is the nation of the Creator. Soon you will understand. And with that, you elevate your souls to the point that nothing can touch you, as you are part of what I call understanding and enlightened to the facts and the realities of the creation. Thank you very much for today. And in so many ways, today's teaching is what I call watershed for separation of the man to a good man, and not just for a few, but for all. Thank you very much for being here, and I hope you will understand or understood. Break, can we break into a break and we come back?
Okay, that sounds good, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much.